Yo guys, what's going on? Robert Warshack here. We're going to be covering the new hero cards. I figured this would be a good time to reflect on how they've been doing. They've been out now for just over 3 weeks. We've had some changes in the meta, and finally I think we're getting to a point where we're seeing the power level of these guys, especially the mage one, now that it's been buffed to be a little bit more competitive. We've got dex win rates, we got percentage found in decks, we've got played win rates, we got a lot of stats here. So instead of making like a disenchant guide, I figured targeting the heroes in just one particular video, you guys can get a good grasp of the decks they fit in, why they're good. Some more information on that front would be good. So this is going to be a little bit different than the normal disenchant guides that we normally do. So taking a look at just sheer deck win rate, we have the Paladin, the Light Forged here at the top. It's found in just over 10% of the decks. Obviously these are going to be Paladin decks, but almost, again, with most of these heroes, most of the classes that you would play the respective hero in is going to be playing that hero, besides just a couple of them, just because they're so good and they can be weaved into just about any deck. I mean, just for example, again, looking at Lightforge, this can be played in Big Paladin, this could be played in Buff Paladin, this could be played in Aggro Paladin, this could be played in our favorite, just the most awesome deck, our love, Libram Paladin. Between the dealing damage to everything on the board, dealing it to the opponent's face, having that weapon that basically you take half the amount of damage you should, regardless of whether it's your or your opponent's turn, is insane. You also get that upgraded hero power, which basically buffs him in your hand each and every turn for the low price of 2 mana. It's just an insane hero, and like I said, it fits into so many different decks, and that's why we see it in a large percentage of decks, over 10%. We have the deck win rate at the highest at 56.1. Very high. It even has a 60% played win rate. Yes, you play this card, you win 60% of the time, which is kind of nuts. Yo guys, I appreciate you watching my videos. I'm happy you like the content, but if you're not subbed, please sub, because over 50% of the people who are watching the content are not subbed, and it really affects the channel in a bad way. If you want me to keep doing what I love and you like the videos, just make sure you support the channel. And if you don't, I guess that's okay too. Moving down the deck win rate, we have the Warrior one. So I love Warrior. I've tested this girl a lot, and I can tell you the deck win rate seems a little inflated to me, and that's because we see this card in Pirate Warrior. And Pirate Warrior, as we know, is one of the strongest decks, in my opinion, in this game right now. The quest Pirate Warrior is nuts. Once they get the Juggernaut out on turn like 6 or 7, you know, it's really hard to come back from some of those games, just because of the double 2 damage, so 4 damage a turn, the weapon, the pirate, the smite. You guys know the drill a bit. So a lot of people are playing her in that deck, and basically once you get to the point where you're playing the Rockthera in the Pirate Warrior deck and you already have Juggernaut down, you're using the Unstoppable Force kind of to either just hit your opponent in the face, you're weaving your hero power in, so it's doing 2 to your opponent's face as well. So it's kind of just like a finisher. You know, the old Leroy stats, it had a horrible drawn win rate, but it had a great played win rate, because people always played Leroy when they were going to win, not necessarily to just play it to lose. So I think this is one of those things that the deck win rate doesn't really reflect the power level of the actual hero, because side by side against almost every other hero, the Warrior one does get outvalued. We are in a basically OTK or hyper aggro meta right now, not a control meta, and this hero doesn't really fall under any of what would make a deck really good right now. Like, the Unstoppable Force is a cool weapon, but it's not infinite value. It's not an insane amount of damage. It's just a good card, which unfortunately is just not good enough for the meta that we currently have in Hearthstone. And even just the deal 2 damage, honorable kill hero power to get 4 armor. I mean, that's nothing in comparison to like the Shaman or the Hunter one, where you're basically guaranteed heal 6, summon 2/2/3s, deal 6, you know what I mean? Or you're summoning Huffers or Mishas. Like, the Warrior one doesn't stand a chance. So I do not believe this Warrior one is a good craft, nor is it a very good hero until it gets buffed, which I can see it probably getting buffed like the Mage one, because in my opinion it sucks. We have Kurtus up here though at 53.8%. We've seen this found a ton in the Token Druid. It's found in Death Rattle Demon Hunter, found in Fell Demon Hunter, and it weaves into the OTK package with the Fellfire Dreadeye, with the expendable performers. It's a very insane combo. Basically every Demon Hunter besides like OTK Demon Hunter is going to be playing Kurtus, and it's one of those that can just fit in every deck. So if you're a Demon Hunter fan, you absolutely need this guy. It's a fantastic hero, and you can do a shit ton of damage with it. Following up, we've got Brokon, just sitting at 53.5%. I think the popularity and the win rate of this particular hero comes from everybody playing the elusive, no longer a meme, Freeze Shaman. So whether you're playing the OTK Free Shaman, you're playing the new Burn Free Shaman, which, by the way, I'm going to nickname Burn Free Shaman is going to be Freezer Burn Shaman. Mark my words, I have like a 2-hour video of us winning like 18 games in a row with this Freezer Burn Shaman that we've been brewing up the past couple days. So that video should be out shortly. It's kind of disgusting. So with Brokon being a fantastic super value tool, the fact that you're able to use the 2 of the battle cries immediately, whether you're trying to heal, summon minions, or do damage to your opponent's face, this is an absolute staple into any shaman build that you're trying to do. Even though he is one of the more expensive ones at 8 mana, you're getting an insane amount of value out of this guy each and every turn for that 8 mana. So if you're a shaman lover, you like the class, this guy is a definitely snag for you. We've got Beast Stalker Tavish at 52.7%. Since this guy got buffed, they actually changed the hero power. Instead of 3 mana, it costs 2 mana now. And that opens up a lot of possibilities because we played with him obviously at 3, and now that he's 2, it's just really, really good. Being able to go Animal Companion for 2 mana each and every turn, weave it in there, maybe get some Huffers, get some chip damage in. Very, very solid. Also, the secrets are very, very great, whether you're getting the Ice one or the Pack Tactic one, just the ability to kind of disrupt your opponent's turn. I mean, already as a hunter, you're kind of taking the initiative, you're on the board, and basically playing this guy propels you even further because your opponent has to now play around these secrets that are enhanced secrets, which by themselves are already worth 2 or 3 mana each. You get the armor, which is nice, and then you also get that new and improved hero power. So while this hero isn't necessarily found in every hunter build, like Face Hunter would definitely never play this card because it's just too slow, 6 mana. Even though it's the cheapest amongst all of the heroes besides Tamsen, the Face Hunter does not run this, and that's currently what I would consider the best hunter deck. But some more fun hunter brews that maybe revolve around bigger beasts or some bigger Death Rattle minions with like Jewel and N'Zoth, the Owl, or even the Mountain Bear are really, really good with this card because it's just a fantastic disruption tool along with that infinite value, click beast and summon a homie every turn. So very, very good. Moving to Shadow Crafter Scab. So this is at 52.7%, making our way down almost to the low 50s here at 10.1% of the percentage of decks. This is actually the second highest, just behind the Dawngrass, which we'll get to in a bit. The Dawngrass was, it was like sub 2%, and now it's blasted up past 14, which is insane. The Scab's very, very good card. I underrated this originally a ton because at the time when this card was releasing, board states didn't matter like at all. OTK decks were running rampant. Most decks, they didn't care about the board. So if you like had a huge board, it just didn't matter. As a rogue, you were the one that needed to have the board, so why would you vanish your own board when you need to kill your opponent? And then having a prep as a hero power didn't really make a difference because rogue with 7, 8, 9, 10 mana, they don't need, you know what I mean? It's just where we need to damage hero powers, value hero power, something that would end the game, right? But we found that the Shadow Crafter Scabs kind of just played really well into the Garrett Rogue, which was already the best rogue deck out, and it gave Garrett Rogue just an additional turn to live longer and set up its combos so it could kill you faster. So while Shadow Crafter Scabs wasn't necessarily something that we used to propel, the board or to engage into any combos, it was used as a stall mechanic, and then also, to be able to complete its OTK faster. So it wasn't really used in the way that I thought it was going to be used, and it's why it's so powerful. It's also found in, whether you're playing the Burgle Rogue or the Quest Rogue, returning those SIs to your hands are really good. So I definitely underrated Scabs quite a bit. Vanish is still very good. That's why we're seeing it at such a high percentage played in decks, because every single rogue deck is going to want to play this card. Every rogue deck. So if you're playing rogue, having a good time with rogue, Scabs is a must. So Moving down to the Tamsen. So this is the last hero that is in the green for deck win rates. As we knew before the buffs and nerfs came out, the Dreadlich was found in Quest Warlock. It was found in the Owl Warlock. Basically, any Warlock that you could envision is going to want to draw 3 cards, put 3 portals in their deck, gain 5 armor, and then also change their hero power into something much greater. So Dreadless Tamsen for 6 mana. Again, one of the cheapest along with the Tavish and the Kurtus. Very, very good. It's not, however, it is not really found in every single Warlock deck played right now. You could get around playing Dreadlich instead. You could replace it with like a Backfire or something like that. So while she is a fantastic Warlock card, she's not like an absolute must card to have in the deck like Kurtus or Lightforged or even Shadowcrafter, right? Heading to a very interesting hero, which is in the highest amount of decks right now, 14.3%. We've got Dawngrass and below a 50% win rate. So people are playing this card in their deck, and they are winning less often than not, but yet it is being played a shit ton. And you know why? This card is fun. People are having fun. I know, crazy. But Dawngrass. 7 mana. They recently buffed this card. It was 8. And they also changed the Wildfire. So now Wildfire, before if you played Wildfire and you played Dawngrass, it would reset your hero power counter back to 1. So you'd have to replay Wildfires to buff it back up. Now with the new change, you can play Wildfire, and it actually, even though you play Dawngrass, you keep that upgraded hero power, even though you technically get a new one, which is a very, very huge deal. And why we're seeing so many people playing the like Ping Mage or the Dawngrass Big Ping Mage, or however you want to build the deck. There's like a million different builds for the Big Mage or the Ping Mage or the Big Spell Mage or Bird Mage, Mask Mage, however you want to call it, right? Very, very fun deck. This mage card is an absolute must, in my opinion, if you are playing any sort of value mage, big mage, freeze mage, any mage, besides Muzaki Mage, which, in my opinion, is probably just the best mage you could play, given the fact that Muzaki Mage can win by turn 5 with 90 plus damage, and it normally closes out games on turn 7 or 8. I've been saying Muzaki Mage has been a great deck for many months now. We've been playing Muzaki Mage and refining it and playing it, and people laughed at us. But now, it laughs at them, because Muzaki Mage is actually just insane. So if you're looking to play Mage, you probably won't win that much if you're playing this card in your deck, because the deck's not good, but this deck's fun as shit, and that's what the stats are telling us here. This is a very fun deck. People are playing it. It may not be the most competitive, but maybe just because we haven't found the most refined mage list yet, which we'll probably be working on some big mage. We've played a lot. It's a very fun deck. It's probably one of my favorites this expansion cycle. Another unbelievably fun hero card, and I've been playing with the past couple days, whether it be through Quest Druid or just overall Big Druid, and that's going to be the Wildheart Guff. This guy is so much fun. Whether we're getting to 20 mana those games, being able to have those huge explosive turns with this card, being able to ramp to like 12 mana while your opponent still has 5, you're dropping 8/8s and Cenarian wards and all kinds of crazy shit, and your opponent's over here barely scooting by with their 3, 4, 5 mana bullshit. We got no time for that because we're ramping. So Wildheart Guff, while it may not have the deck win rate high, if we scoot on over here, I think the deck played rate is going to be substantially higher. And we see it right here at the deck played win rate. We have 56.5%, Mulligan at 57%, and then we have drawn and we have kept at 94.5%. This is the highest Mulligan kept hero out of all of them. It has an insanely high mulligan and played win rate. So while the deck win rate is low, if you happen to have this card in the mulligan, it increases those odds instantly to 54.4%. And then from there, once you get to play it, it increases even more percentage points from there. So I think this then means that the Druid decks that are currently playing Wildheart Guff are not the correct builds. But once those builds come alive, we get a little bit more refinement in the Druid area. People figure out which is actually the best build. We can increase the deck win rate, which would then increase the played win rate and the mulligan win rate, and this can be a little bit more of a competitive card. And not only is it a competitive card, it's a very, very good card. So Wild Heart Guff, very, very fun. If you're interested in Druid, we've played a ton of Druid decks on the channel. This is an absolute must craft if you're interested in that. And then at the bottom of the barrel, again, one of the more expensive of the hero cards, we have Zarella. This is found in basically just that Death Rattle slash Resurrect Priest. We mentioned before, this is a hyper aggro slash OTK meta. So if you match up against aggro decks, you're playing a healing Death Rattle deck, you're favored. If you're playing against, you know, an OTK mage, an OTK shaman, you're not favored. So this is kind of one of those hit or miss heroes. But again, if we look at that deck win rate, we have 47 at the bottom. If we scoot on over to the played win rate, we see it's at 67.3%. This is higher than any of the other heroes. And basically what this is telling us is if the priest lives long enough in the game to get this card to get value and you can play it, most of the time you win, which means the actual card itself is very, very powerful, but the deck that it currently fits in is not as competitive as it could be in this particular meta. So if we ever move back into a control, slower based meta where there's not as many control decks, or we have some more anti-OTK tools, looking at cards like Dirty Rat and Mutanus, which really disrupted those combos, this is something that is quite frightening because Zarella is one of those cards that's going to replay all of the death rattles that have triggered that game. So whether it's, you know, clearing the opponent's board with the new death rattle 3/7, whether it's light shower, elemental healing for 8, or the new Moarg that's going to give you 8 armor, or it's Korak that's going to summon a bunch of 3/5s. This card is insane, insane, insane value. And then also just the hero power in itself, being able to heal 5 or deal 5. Is quite good itself as well. So Zarella, while it does have that lowest deck win rate, we do see that played win rate extremely high, and definitely should not be overlooked. Once, you know, maybe we'll get a couple more nerfs to those OTK decks or whatnot. So there's the breakdown of the heroes, some of the decks they fit into, my outlook on them. And again, I know this was a little bit different of a video than we normally do. I might, if you guys still want, we could do it, you know, an epic or a legendary and epic disenchant guide, going over those particular cards. But the heroes are the hot topics right now. They're found in basically every deck that you're going to face on ladder is going to have some form of hero card in it. And, you know, which ones stand out, which ones you should craft, and a little breakdown on how they're doing, and the win rates behind them and their played win rates. So with that, thank you guys for watching. Leave a comment if you like the video. Leave a like. Let me know what you think. As always, guys, I'm Robert Warshack, and happy whatever the hell day it is.